Hello, you people of the discerning pedal taste. The Wampler Pantheon DLX bigger box Pantheon, which has two of them in it. Is it a king of tone? I didn't know, because I didn't know the king of tone. Because I'm not putting myself on a 4-year wait list. Now, that's just insane. I'm sorry. I just use a different overdrive. But my buddy Dennis has one. Full disclosure, my buddy Dennis works for Boutique Amps Distribution who make and distribute Wampler. Doesn't mean anything, just to let you know. He's one of those nerds who has a king of tone. So he sent me his king of tone. And I gotta say, first, why am I talking like this? First time I plugged that thing in, it immediately floored me. It immediately sounded round and creamy and without having a lot of gain, in just a great overdrive. That is obviously why people are waiting for 4 years. That is obviously why it has the reputation. It is good. I personally feel it is a certain kind of flavor, and that's it, which is fine. We have a lot of pedals that have that flavor. Of course, you've got the red side and the orange side or yellow side, whatever you guys are going to call it. And obviously, that king of tone has a certain kind of mod. You order it with more gain or less gain and all that stuff. But essentially, it is an overdrive with volume, gain, and tone, and then another one with volume, gain, and tone, and you can stack them. That's it. The Pantheon has a lot more options. If that's not what you need, then the question is, how close to the king of tone does it get? Does it even have to get close to the king of tone? Or is the Pantheon that has the sound of the Pantheon? which is a different approach to the Bluesbreaker or double Bluesbreaker mod in a box. So that's essentially what a King of Tone is, as far as I understand it. It's 2 Bluesbreakers put in a box with the mods that Analogman likes, which is cool. And that is what the Pantheon is. It's kind of 2 Bluesbreakers in a box with the mods that Brian Wampler likes. So we have them right there. So we have them right there. Just a quick overview. The Pantheon has that side and that side. In this case, it is orange and orange. That's orange and that's yellow. You can't see that. And here we got red and orange. It has a global presence. It has bass and treble, which immediately means there's other things you can do with it, easier to tailor to a certain amp and all that stuff. So bass and treble instead of tone, because Brian likes a lot of EQ possibilities. You can change the order. Don't think that makes a lot of sense, but okay. This side has a lot more treble. It's a very bright side. And then on the sides, left and right, which right now I can get to here, it has 3 kind of voicings, which here you can get hardwired, or I think internal dip switches or something like that. But here you can access it on the side of the pedal. We actually have a camera for that. Right, there are switches. So voicing, and here gain. So right now I'm operating it in the lowest gain setting because the King of Tone that I have on the table, I don't know about others, again, I haven't had others, has a very low gain, which is fine, totally fine. It sounds phenomenal. According to Brian, this side is more King of Tone-ish, whereas that side is more original Bluesbreaker-ish with pronounced high end. So let's not look at this side because we want to contrast and compare. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to turn the red on. I played around with it earlier a little bit, and to cut this short without even listening to them, there's a difference. Is it a big one? Depends. We'll see. So on the table, I have a Compound 44 from Flex Reaction, which is a little looper switcher. So if I click this, it's the Pantheon. If I click this, it's the King of Tone. Right now, it's nothing. I'm playing it with my Palantir, which is the Panucci 59 inspired P90s. That's why we have some buzz and stuff going on. Also, my studio has some buzz issues. I'm working on that. Here are the cleans. Into the Tone King, Sky King, a little bit of reverb from the golden reverberator in front of it. Right here from, what's that called? Universal Audio. And we're going into the aux with the 412 Creamback loaded cab. You've heard the cleans. Okay, we're gonna start with the King. You can see that the gain is rather high. Fantastic overdrive. A little bit leaner in the low end, I think, but it's beautiful. It's There's nothing else to say about that. Pantheon. So, now any differences there are, and then unimagined, they are there, but at that setting, they're extremely minute. The problem is, if you don't have a King of Tone and an A-B switch like I have right now, or a looper, dialing in the Pantheon to sound exactly like the King of Tone is difficult, because you have to have that A-B-ness. The King of Tone by Analogman has a unique attack, kind of like a rounded off attack on the note, which is very beautiful. And it has a very specific mid-range. And I think that the Pantheon is struggling the tiniest bit to hit that mid-range, depending on where you have the EQ set. You see that I have the bass dialed down quite a bit to make it as lean as the King of Tone. Now the thing is, does it have to sound like the King of Tone? I don't think it does. If you want a King of Tone and you think it's the only pedal in the world that can get you that sound, you're already on the waiting list and you already ordered one, which is fine. As I said, it is a phenomenally sounding overdrive. But it gets you that sound. I think the Pantheon, with the right settings, can get you that sound, but can go further. Also, it's available. All I'm saying. By the way, I'm not getting paid by Wampler or King of Tone Analogman to make this video, just to let you know. I really just wanted to know and share my findings. However, I can link to the Pantheon at Sweetwater and Thomann, which means I can make money if you buy one. I cannot link to the King of Tone because that's only available from Analogman. But of course, we'll also link to their waitlist and ordering process as well. So let me dial things in here. You immediately know it gets... It's not King of Tone anymore. So the thing I just turned the Pantheon into with that massive bass, and it's on noon, you know, it's at Unity, the King of Tone can't do. Is it something you want? Oh no, that's up to you. There is more where we... Let's go the King of Tone on the orangey side. So I just changed the voicing on the Wampler. At lower gain settings, I really don't hear a big difference there. What do I know? You need more gain for the mids to really change. Might also be that the gain has the bass has to be higher. The most important thing to note is that the Pantheon is right now on the lowest gain setting. I'm gonna go step number 2. Now on the King of Tone, this is max gain that I can get. You can clearly hear that all of a sudden it's mid-focused, less bass, because on the Wampler right now, I'm in on noon on the bass. Realistically, for me, at that gain setting, I don't know why you would want that other that get a little bit leaner in the bass. Wait, I turned it off. Why did I turn it off? Ah, because I wanted to check. That's why. I think it's a little bit too tame on the gain. Pantheon? Let's do this. Now things change quite a bit when we go to the other side, where I think the Pantheon has an added sound, a very bright top-endy sound. I went to the lowest gain setting there. You can definitely hear that there's immediately this sparkly top end that at times can be a little bit too much, but of course can be tamed with the treble knob. And on the right side on the Pantheon, I wouldn't use the presence, even though it's close to Christmas. But on the left side, I might. look, guys, I'm done. King of Tone goes on the table, or on the board, and I think immediately impresses. Immediately sings. The mids are beautiful. It's lean in the low end. Doesn't get in the way. It's beautiful for those bluesy leads. When you stack it, I mean, let's do this quickly here. King of Tone, stacking it. Can I get that here? Yes. King of Tone immediately impresses. I wish it had a little bit more gain resource, but I think that's something you can order if you wanted to. Would I go on the wait list? No. However, I'm tempted to say, hey Dennis, can I buy yours? We'll see how that goes. Because it's a good pedal. There's no question about it. Otherwise, why would everyone wait for 4 freaking years and have to have friends in freaking Italy or Switzerland to ship it to because they don't ship to Germany? There's a reason why this is on boards. Can the Pantheon do those sounds? Yes. Can you find that sound exactly easily without having a King of Tone next to it? I don't think so. Because the Pantheon easily has more bass. The Pantheon easily has more treble and therefore sound colder in a way. It can, it doesn't have to. You have to know how to set it up. And you can see, I have to tame, don't use the presence, I have to tame the treble, I have to tame the bass. So I'm dialing things down instead of up. It has a lot more gain. A lot. This is on the lowest gain setting of both sides. So I can go to 2 and 3 on each side to get these really screaming leads. The King of Tone that I have here cannot do that, the Pantheon can. Are the voicing switches relevant? Not really to me. There are differences, but none that really require me to have those voicing switches, realistically. Is the pedal order switch relevant? Not to me. I would have it 1 into 2, makes the most sense to me, done. However, if we look at the back of the pedal, on the Pantheon, I can have both of them independently in my looper switcher. So I can have this side as an independent pedal with an input and an output, and this side as an independent pedal. Have both of them on and then tell my looper switcher which one I want active. On the King of Tone, you put this in your looper switcher and it's pretty much a one-trick pony. It's either that, or both. Because the looper switcher can't govern it because it only has an input and an output. Okay? Just to let you know. Also, the Wampler Pantheon could be outside of your looper switcher. And on this side right here, it has MIDI in and out, or MIDI in and through, which means the on-off state of each of the channels can be MIDI controllable. And that means you can actually, without a looper switcher, have it programmed to which of the sides is on. So what does that mean? It means I now know how to set up my Pantheon to sound like the King of Tone. I go to this side. I go to the lowest gain setting. I have it right about here, which will equal King of Tone right about here. Dial that a little bit down and dial that to about 9 o'clock. And then I'm kind of there. It's still, you turn on the King of Tone and there's a mid-range that is very unique, but at that setting, the Pantheon can nail it. I mean, it's a variation of the same circuit. It's a blues breaker circuit. So yes, it can do it. it can also go a lot further. With bass and treble, you have a lot more options. With the gains, it's what the King of Tone is, just a lot more. But that also means that you put it on the table and you don't have your instant King of Tone. When you put the King of Tone from Analogman on the table, you have instant, wow, this is inspiring. It's not, the Pantheon can be option overload, option paralysis in a way. More gain, less gain. That voicing, which one sounds like the King of Tone? Who gives a shit? How about you dial in the one that sounds good to you? It doesn't matter whether it sounds like the King of Tone or whether the King of Tone is flexible or not. Okay? Because the Wampler can do a million things. The King of Tone you put on the table, it immediately sounds good. Which one should you get? I don't know. I really like the King of Tone sounds. From the first minute I played it, it was inspiring. I like that the Pantheon, in a studio situation on my table, can do a lot of things. Will I set it up to sound like the King of Tone? No, I'll set it up like the sound that I need. I think they're both great pedals. I think it's a shame that the King of Tone isn't readily available anywhere. I think it's a shame that they make so little. I think it's a shame that you have to wait for 4 years. But you wait for 4 years because it is such a great pedal. If you need to get a certain job done, King of Tone-ish, that side of the Pantheon with that setting can do it. And in a context, in a song, no one will give a flying rat's ass. You pedal snobs will give a flying rat's ass because looking at the Pantheon, it's not a King of Tone. And I gotta say, I'm with you on a little bit. I like that I have it on the table. Ooh, it's the King of Tone. Ooh. They've established themselves as the company that instills that want in you. And that's something to be said for that as well. If the pedal inspires you, because you waited for it for 4 years, then that's valid. So I don't know. Buy whatever you can get your hands on. They're great, both. Links below to both of them. Thanks, Leslie, for switching, and animals at the end.